We live in a world where we're constantly connected, always scrolling, swiping, and checking our phones. But did you know the average person spends over 4 hours a day on their phone? That's more than a full workday. Worse, research shows that the average person checks their phone about 2,617 times a day. This constant digital noise isn't just a nuisance, it's slowly eroding our mental health. Anxiety, depression, and stress are at an all-time high, and our devices might be to blame. This is where digital minimalism comes in. By simplifying our relationship with technology, we can restore our focus, find peace, and regain control over our lives. In this article, we'll explore why digital minimalism is the key to sanity and how you can start today. Chapter 1. The Digital Deluge. Drowning in Information. We live in an age where information comes at us from every direction. Every second, over 6,000 tweets are sent, and 3.2 million Google searches happen. It's easy to feel like we're swimming in a flood of data. But the reality is, most of this information doesn't even serve us. According to a study by Microsoft, the average human attention span has dropped from 12 seconds to just 8 seconds. That's less than a goldfish. When you're constantly bombarded with notifications, your mind never gets a break. This constant rush of data makes it nearly impossible to focus on what really matters. The issue isn't just about productivity, it's about sanity. Our brains weren't designed for this overload. Neuroscientist John Medina says the human brain evolved to process only a certain amount of information at once. Today, we're stretching that capacity to its limits. This digital chaos doesn't just drain us mentally, it also exhausts us emotionally. You might notice feelings of stress, anxiety, or even depression after scrolling through your phone or checking your email. It's not in your head, it's in your brain's struggle to keep up with the overload. So, what's the solution? Digital minimalism. Instead of letting every notification grab your attention, choose to focus on what adds real value to your life. For instance, instead of checking your email first thing in the morning, start your day with a 10-minute meditation. This simple change helps reduce the mental noise, letting you take control of your time and energy. Imagine how much mental space you'd gain if you let go of unnecessary distractions. Digital minimalism allows you to regain focus, calm your mind, and enjoy a deeper sense of clarity. Chapter 2. The Illusion of Connection. Are we truly linked? Let's face it, today's digital world promises connection, but often leaves us feeling more isolated than ever. You scroll through Instagram, see pictures of smiling faces, and feel like everyone's life is perfect. But research shows that heavy social media use is linked to depression and anxiety. According to a study by the University of Pennsylvania, people who limit their social media use to 30 minutes a day experience a significant drop in feelings of loneliness and depression. While technology makes it easier to stay in touch with friends, it also gives us an illusion of intimacy. A like or a comment doesn't replace a real conversation. Our brains crave deeper connections, but social media only offers shallow interactions. Sherry Turkle, author of Reclaiming Conversation, argues that we're losing the ability to have meaningful face-to-face interactions because we're too distracted by screens. Instead of being present in the moment, we're scrolling and comparing our lives to others. But it doesn't have to be this way. Digital minimalism invites us to be intentional about our connections. Instead of mindlessly scrolling, focus on quality over quantity. A 20-minute phone call with a loved one can provide more meaningful connection than hours spent liking posts on Facebook. A good rule of thumb: set boundaries on when and how often you check social media, and make room for real conversations. This small step can lead to greater satisfaction and a sense of true belonging. Chapter 3. The Silent Tug of War. Digital Addiction versus Mental Freedom. In the battle between digital addiction and mental freedom, most of us don't even realize we're losing. Did you know that the average person touches their phone about 2,617 times per day? That's not just a number, it's a reminder of how much control devices have over our lives. We check our phones out of habit, out of boredom, and sometimes without even thinking. But this constant checking is a form of addiction, and it's having a significant impact on our mental health. A study by the University of Texas found that even hearing your phone buzz in your pocket can raise stress levels. This constant state of alertness doesn't let our minds rest. Our brains have become conditioned to respond to digital stimuli, leaving little room for true relaxation. The constant demand to check, respond, and engage with our phones leaves us feeling drained and anxious. In fact, researchers found that after just a few minutes of using social media, our stress levels spike. Here's the kicker: we can break this cycle. Digital minimalism is the key. By intentionally limiting our screen time, we can retrain our brains to enjoy the present moment and regain our mental clarity. It starts with small steps, like turning off unnecessary notifications or setting up phone-free zones in your home. One strategy is to set aside certain times of day for phone use and stick to it. This helps create balance, and it reminds you that you're in charge of your time. The real freedom comes when you choose to live with less digital noise. When you stop reaching for your phone every few minutes, your mind can actually wander, daydream, and think more deeply. This mental space is where creativity and peace thrive. According to Cal Newport, author of Digital Minimalism, a minimalist life is about what you eliminate. By eliminating digital distractions, you're making room for more meaningful activities. Whether it's reading a book, taking a walk, or simply sitting in silence, these moments are essential for recharging and recentering yourself. In the end, the fight between digital addiction and mental freedom isn't a battle you need to lose. Digital minimalism is the weapon that will help you regain control. It's all about being mindful of how much time you spend online and finding the courage to disconnect when it's necessary. Your brain will thank you for it. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more tips on how to reclaim your sanity and live with intention. Chapter 4. The Power of Less: Designing a Digital Life That Reflects Your True Values. In a world where everything is available at the tap of a finger, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by options. You might feel pulled in 100 directions by social media, news, apps, emails, and more. But here's the thing: too many choices can lead to mental paralysis. A study by Swarthmore College found that people who were given fewer choices experienced less stress and made more satisfying decisions. The same principle applies to your digital life. When you focus on less, you can design a life that's more meaningful and aligned with your true values. Digital minimalism isn't about cutting out technology entirely. It's about using it in a way that serves you. Cal Newport, author of Digital Minimalism, encourages us to ask one simple question: does this technology serve a deep purpose in my life? If the answer is no, it's time to let go. For example, instead of scrolling through endless news feeds, spend time reading books or articles that expand your knowledge and enrich your life. Instead of mindlessly scrolling through your phone, engage in activities that align with your goals. The key to embracing digital minimalism is identifying your core values. If creativity is important to you, try curating your digital life around tools and platforms that fuel your creativity, rather than distract from it. According to Harvard Business Review, reducing distractions can improve creative thinking by up to 60%. Setting boundaries around technology can give you the mental space to be more productive, creative, and focused on the things that matter most. A great first step? Start by decluttering your digital environment. Go through your apps, social media accounts, and email subscriptions. Do you need them all? Probably not. Unfollow accounts that don't align with your values or interests. This isn't just about cutting out distractions. It's about creating a digital life that fuels your passions, enhances your focus, and supports your personal growth. When you do this, you create a space where the technology that remains can help you live a more intentional, fulfilling life. Chapter 5. Zen and the Art of the Digital Cleanse. Simple steps to start today. Starting your journey into digital minimalism doesn't have to be overwhelming. In fact, it can be refreshing. The trick is to take small, actionable steps that build over time. The 30-day digital declutter, a strategy from Cal Newport's Digital Minimalism, is a great place to start. The idea is simple. Take 30 days off from optional digital tools, social media, streaming services, and even some apps. This break gives you a chance to reconnect with real-life activities and explore how much time you have when you're not glued to a screen. You might be surprised by what you find. According to a report from the Wall Street Journal, the average person spends nearly 4 hours a day on their phone. Imagine what you could do with that time if it were spent on more meaningful activities. You could learn a new skill, take up a hobby, or simply enjoy some quiet time. As you begin your digital cleanse, focus on one area at a time. Start by turning off notifications on your phone. Research from UC Irvine found that checking notifications disrupts your focus and can take up to 23 minutes to regain full concentration after each interruption. By turning off notifications, you'll prevent your phone from constantly pulling your attention away from the present moment. This will help you stay focused on what's important. Another helpful strategy is to set phone-free zones in your home. Designate places like your bedroom or dining room as areas where you leave your phone in another room. This allows you to disconnect and be present with the people around you. Studies from the University of Connecticut show that simply reducing phone use during meals can lead to stronger family bonds and greater satisfaction in relationships. Lastly, remember that digital minimalism isn't about deprivation, it's about intentionality. Choose the apps and tools that truly enhance your life, and ditch the rest. The goal is not to eliminate all tech, but to make sure it aligns with your values. By focusing on quality over quantity, you'll discover a greater sense of control and peace. Chapter 6. Reclaiming Your Sanity. The Unexpected Joys of Less. As you embrace digital minimalism, one of the most unexpected benefits is how it allows you to reclaim your mental space. Technology may be designed to help us, but it often fills our minds with noise and distractions. By minimizing digital distractions, you open up space for more mindful moments. And in this space, you can find joy. Dr. Sherry Turkle explains in her book Reclaiming Conversation that by turning down the digital noise, we give ourselves the opportunity to truly connect, whether with others or with ourselves. One powerful aspect of digital minimalism is how it encourages you to reconnect with the present moment. We often use our phones to escape boredom or stress, but this creates a vicious cycle. By cutting back on digital distractions, you give yourself the chance to feel boredom again, a necessary condition for creativity. Studies show that when people experience productive boredom, their brains are more likely to spark creative ideas. That's because, without digital distractions, your mind starts to wander, imagine, and innovate. Another surprise benefit of digital minimalism is the increase in mental clarity. Research by the University of California shows that multitasking actually decreases cognitive performance. When you stop bouncing between multiple devices, you allow your brain to focus deeply on one thing. As a result, you become more efficient and productive. In fact, those who embrace digital minimalism often report feeling calmer and more focused throughout the day. You might also notice a shift in your relationships. When you reduce screen time, you can devote more attention to the people around you. One study by the American Psychological Association found that couples who spend less time on their phones report feeling more connected and satisfied in their relationships. This is a powerful reminder that being present, both physically and mentally, is the key to stronger, more meaningful connections. Finally, digital minimalism can give you a sense of freedom that you didn't even know you were missing. The less you rely on technology, the more control you have over your time. You start to live by your own schedule, rather than being a slave to your notifications and apps. As Cal Newport puts it, the key to a minimalist life is not having less, but having what you truly value. By embracing less digital clutter, you make space for the things that matter most, whether that's deep thinking, creativity, or spending time with loved ones. Don't forget to subscribe if you're ready to take control of your digital life and start living with intention.